Hi and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Tracy and I am currently trying to lose weight using the Wegovy weight loss pen. So I debated whether or not to make any more of these videos or just in general any more YouTube videos, because I had a couple of nasty comments on, one was on a Shein try-on video and one was on my last weight loss video. And I've never had any in the past, and it's quite difficult to read those comments. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just human. I don't make any money from YouTube. I just do this to help people out. But people have been commenting over December on my last weight loss video, so I thought, okay, I'll do an update. So yeah, as I say, I'm currently trying to lose weight using the Wegovy weight loss pen on the Tier 3 weight loss management program through Aviva. I'll go into more about Aviva at the end of the video, but first of all, just in case that lady's watching who left the comment, I just want to address it on here because I did reply, but obviously she didn't comment on my reply. But she put, so taxpayers are paying for your poor lifestyle choices then. Nothing is for free. So basically, I didn't know that it was going to be for free. I mean, I didn't expect to have to pay the crazy prices that companies are charging for it, like £200-300. But I did at least expect to have to pay for the prescription, which you don't through the weight management program. I didn't decide that they were going to be free. That's something that the government has decided. Do I agree with it? I don't know. But if it's there and it's to help people, why not take advantage of it? So my reply to her was, you must have made some poor lifestyle choices yourself if you're watching weight loss videos. And if you'd watched all of my videos, you would have seen that I didn't know it was going to be free. I expected to pay for it. You have no idea why I've made said poor lifestyle choices. Just another one of those nasty women who take pleasure in pulling other women down from behind a keyboard. Pity personality transplants aren't available on the NHS because you would be top of the list. Why people just can't scroll on and not leave comments like that, I don't know. But anyway, let's jump into it. So yes, I started on there's 5 doses on the Wegovy weight loss program. Starts at 0.25 and goes up to 2.4 milligrams. So I started on the lowest dose, and I think on that one I only had constipation. I might have had some mild nausea. I know when I moved up to the next dose, I definitely had some mild nausea and again constipation. Then I moved up to the 1 milligram, and that's where the sickness kicked in. Yeah, it wasn't very nice. I think that was where I did my last video. Anyway, so after that I moved. They do like you to try and move up on this program if you can. You can stay where you are if the side effects are too severe, but they say, you know, it works at its maximum, sort of when you're on your maximum dose. So when I went up to the 1.7 milligrams, the sickness was really bad and quite hard to cope with. So I asked them if I could move back down, and I actually moved back down 2 doses to the 0.5, which is like the second one up. They did say that there was a possibility that the hunger might come back, and you know, those doses just might not work for me now because I'd been on a higher dose, and that was the case for I moved back up to the 1 milligram and the 1.7 milligram, and the hunger was still there. Not as much, but it was still there, and the sickness didn't come back. But because the hunger was there, I felt like my only option then was to move on to the highest dose, which is the 2.4 milligrams. Now, I've been on that one a few weeks, and I have to say the sickness is really bad. Well, the nausea, I'm not actually being sick, but I'm just constantly feeling sick. It's a bit like when you're expecting a baby and you're pregnant, you constantly feel sick all the time. And I don't like it. I just don't feel like myself. I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't feel normal. So I don't know how much longer I'm planning on staying on this jab. I suppose it depends whether or not the side effects ease the more my body gets used to that dose. I'm not really been given each dose time for, to settle in and see how it goes. So yeah, I think I've got about another just under 2 stone to lose to be where I want to be, I'll still be quite overweight, but it's where I feel comfortable. I've been at that weight before, I've been lower than that weight before, and I just find that my body likes it around about that weight. So, what else have I got to tell you? Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking down at my book. Other side effects, hair loss. Now, I'm not sure if this is down to the wegovy or if it's down to being perimenopausal. My hair did start thinning out about 7 years ago when I started being perimenopausal. So it could be that, but it has been a lot worse in the last few months. I've literally got hardly any hair there left in my ponytail. All these bits are breaking. When I wake up in the morning, I look like that. They're stuck out all over the place, whereas they never used to before. And if I try putting my hair up in a bun, which I like to wear it in a bun sort of here, all the back's falling out, whereas it didn't used to. So whether or not that's down to this, I don't know, but they do say that wegovy can cause hair loss. So it could be a combination of things. So in total now, since starting, I think this is like month 7, I've lost 4 stone 8, which is fantastic. I couldn't have done it without the weight loss jab. I really struggle, or I have been struggling since I hit perimenopause, to lose any weight whatsoever. I do have quite a bad relationship with food. When I was a child, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, there weren't the vast choices about that there is now. My parents have small appetites, and even when I was a child, I found that the portions they were putting on my plate weren't enough to make me feel satisfied. I don't know if that's, my mum came from a huge family. I think there were like 13 of them, so I don't know if that's because they had really small portions or not. We didn't have the snacks available to us that we have now, and we certainly weren't a house that you could just go and get snacks. I think a treat to us was having a tin of mixed fruit, well, not the whole tin, but obviously a portion on a Sunday with some carnation milk on, or maybe some fizzy pop with some ice cream in. Do they call that like an ice cream float? I can't remember. But that was a treat to us. We didn't have takeaways. My mum had quite a bland diet, sort of taste palette. So we never had takeaways. If anything, we would have fish and chips. But that was it, and that was only for a treat, every now and again. And we were never allowed fish because fish was too expensive. So I can't remember what I had, maybe scallop or fish cake and chips, something like that. So yes, I have always had a big appetite, and when I started working, and I had my own money, it opened up a new world of food to me. Food I hadn't tried before, like your junk food, like your pizzas and your kebabs and things like that. Even such things like pasta. I'd never ever tried pasta until, I sort of got money to buy my own food. So yeah, that didn't help. I discovered that there was a whole world of food out there other than, I think we used to live on things like burger and chips, not even in a bun, just a burger on a plate with chips, egg and chips, your typical Sunday dinner, crispy pancakes. Do you remember those crispy pancakes and chips? Um, so yeah, I've always had a bit of a, well, quite a bit of a poor relationship with food. Do I think wegovy's made that any better? Absolutely not. Um, if anything, it's probably made it worse. I don't think about food like I did, and I struggle to get excited about food now, but it also it's making me eat very bland and not very much. I'm probably not eating enough, if I'm honest. A typical day would be a yogurt for breakfast. I'm trying to get more protein in, so it's usually like some Greek yogurt. For lunch, I would again I would have a sandwich, but I would put boiled eggs on it, or prawns, or ham, to try and get some protein in. And then for tea, it would be something quick and simple because, like I say, you just don't fancy food, and you certainly don't fancy standing and cooking it for ages. So it might be a tin of soup or a ready meal. I've got a thing for the lamb hot pot ready meals from Aldi at the moment. They're only like 350 calories, and they're so quick and easy and quite tasty. So yeah, I think if I come off this, the problems are still going to be there. That's something I'm going to have to work on myself. I'm hoping that, because I have lost in the past 6.5 stone, and I said then I would never put it back on, I am hoping that this time I will actually stick to that. And, just the thought of going back to what I was, because when I started this weight loss plan, I was over 20 stone. I'm at 15.8 now, so like I say, I've lost 4 stone 8. And I did actually take my measurements this time as well. Every day I go on, I say I must take my measurements before I start. And I always forget, but I did this time. And I have lost, I don't think we're even going to be able to fit it in the camera, the amount of inches I've lost. No, I'm not. But I've lost a total of 39.5 inches, which is absolutely amazing. I will put some photos in of me at my heaviest. And then what I look like now. So yeah, let's go on to Aviva. So basically, when I joined the Aviva weight loss management tier 3 program, all that you needed to be was have a BMI above 35. Now I went on the other day and I noticed that they've changed it. You now have to have one of the listed conditions. So it just gave you an example. It said polycystic ovaries or high blood pressure. So, like I said, I just had the high BMI when I started, although I was borderline diabetic. I'm due to have that tested again this month, so hopefully that will have come down. I know it has really brought my blood pressure down. I was borderline high blood pressure as well. Now I'm actually on the low side of normal, which is really good. So yeah, it has had some really good effects. Whether or not, if I stopped taking it, the blood pressure would change, I don't know. So yeah, like I say, I was referred to them. It took about 8 weeks for them to get in touch and say that they'd got my referral and send me a link. Actually, no, it took a couple of weeks for them to get in touch and say they'd got my referral and that they would be in touch when it was my time. I think about 8 weeks in, I got a an email saying that I had to join what they called a webinar. So basically, you've got to sit with your video on and watch. There was a doctor and a dietitian, and you've got to watch this half-an-hour talk that they do on the weight loss program. You don't have to switch your camera on, you don't have to switch your microphone on if you don't want to, you don't have to get involved, you just have to sit and listen. I think there were about 100 people on it when I joined, and I kept my mic and camera switched off the whole time and just listened into it. So yeah, you have to prove that you've done that. Then the dietitian will get in touch with you a couple of weeks after that. Sorry. And she will talk about which weight loss path you want to go down. So there wasn't just the weight loss injections. There was also, she talked about bariatric surgery, where you have like the gastric bypass or gastric band. There was also some sort of shake diet and a few other, and you get to choose basically. Then, so after we'd sorted that out, about a week later I got a call from a prescriber. So basically they're the ones that write your prescription for it. And then another week after that, it wasn't even a week, I think it was maybe 2 days. Within 2 days of speaking to them, my prescription was here. So every month you will have a call from the prescriber. They just ask you how it's going, ask you about your side effects, and then you'll get your prescription. Well, you don't get a prescription, the pen just comes straight to your door within a couple of days. You also have to use their app, and I think once a month you'll have a talk with the dietitian on the app. It's basically a bit like emailing. She emails to ask if you're okay, and you reply. Then after I'd been on it 3 or 4 months, the prescriber moves you from giving you a call to sending you an email, and you fill in a quick survey. If everything's okay on that survey, then they just send your pen out. And then just not long since, so when you reach like the 6 or 7 months marker, they move you over to receiving 3 pens in one go. So you only have to, sort of communicate with the prescriber then every 3 months, just to make sure everything's going okay. And on this, with Aviva, you can stay on it for a maximum of 2 years. I don't know if that is because that's how long you're meant to stay on wegovy for, or if that is how long you get funding from the NHS to stay on this programme. So yeah, so in general, I'm so glad I've done it. It has had its ups and downs. Would I change it? No, probably not. I am hoping that I can stay on it for a little bit longer. I'm definitely not planning on staying on it for 2 years. I mean, there's other people waiting for it, and I wouldn't want to be taking up, the funding that's for somebody else. So yeah, that's about it. That's my update for now. Any questions, just drop them in the comment box and I'll do my best to answer them. And maybe in another few months I'll do another update. But thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, bye.